Hello and welcome. We are continuing our Working Wellness series tonight, and we are talking about what are effective employee retention strategies or how to increase employee retention. And I want to talk about this. I think it's a great topic. It's a topic that I get a lot of questions about. So we're going to dive into that in just a moment. If you are watching live, I would love to hear from you. If you could give me a shout out in the comments, I would love for you to say hi. This is a time for us to get to know one another a little bit more. Also for me to answer any questions, that you might have. So I would love to, build that relationship with you. So please chime in, whether you're watching live or on the replay, would love to hear from you. So as I mentioned, we are talking about what are effective employee retention strategies. And so according to a recent study, 57% of employees would not recommend their current employer to their friends. I don't know about you, but I think that is a rather large number. And I think that that's actually a really sad number, because think about it this way. I mean, you're potentially losing out on an effective recruitment tool by not having your employees be that brand ambassador for you, pulling in potential of their friends to fill those open positions that you might have. So, we need to kind of address one, employee retention, and we'll probably talk about some recruitment strategies down the road. If you have any questions about that specifically, feel free to type those in the comments. Would love to hear what questions you might have. And if you're here watching me live, I would love for you to say hi and get to know you. Also, if you're watching on the replay, thank you. So again, one of the biggest mistakes I see here, is companies usually assume what their employees might want or need. And I think that that's the number one biggest mistake. I mean, hey Angela, how's it going, girl? Good to see you. So yeah, 57%, that's ridiculous and that's high. So one of the biggest mistakes I see, right, is the fact that companies are making assumptions about what their employees want or what issues might be currently going on, whether it's, hearsay, gossip, whatever the case might be, they think that they have all of the answers and they have everything covered. But I can assure you that if you are not basing your decisions off of data, then you're really not making the best decision or utilizing the best strategy for, how to, move forward. And I'm a firm believer in customizing recommendations specifically for a company. And I'm also a huge believer in making data-driven decisions. I have a marketing background and I had to prove ROI for every marketing campaign I've ever had to execute. And I bring that element to corporate wellness because we have to make those data-driven decisions in order to make an impact on the bottom line and make a difference in your employees' lives. So, we really want to base those things off of data. So again, like I said, true corporate wellness, is really about the customization factor. It's really about digging into the data, and that's data could be from surveys. It could be from a lot of different elements. But what I want to focus on right now is 4 strategies, that will help you just retain, your employees and really to increase that employee retention, right? So the first strategy here is surveys. And okay, so when it comes to surveys, a lot of companies execute either yearly surveys or, just 2 times a year, biannually surveys, for either like around performance review time or to get on one of those best places to work lists. And it's really not utilized effectively for, really over time. So what I highly recommend is that companies do pulse surveys where you actually do surveying each week. And it might be 5 to 10 quick questions. There's a specific platform I use, so if you're interested in doing surveys, just let me know, private message me later. But surveys are a great and effective retention strategy tool. Another retention strategy tool is management training. There is a Gallup poll that states that 50% of employees actually leave their position and leave their company because of their boss and because of their manager. So you might hear, that phrase, people quit bosses, not companies. And that's kind of, what I'm talking about here. A lot of times, and you can, if you're in a management position, whether you're new to it or you've been in a management position for a while, think back to, when you were originally promoted into being a manager. Maybe you didn't have a lot of training. Maybe you didn't have, maybe you were just kind of thrusted into this position, where you all of a sudden you were part of the team, and now all of a sudden you're leading the team. And so, again, we always learn through trial and error. But when it comes to management, a lot of times, when someone is put into a position of management who hasn't, led a team before, doesn't have that experience, they basically pull from their personal experience. So you have to think about that from the standpoint of, okay, well, what if they've had bosses from hell? And okay, that's their experience, that they had. So they emulate what they know, because they don't know what they don't know. So it's really important to have management training, no matter what level they're in, whether they're newly promoted or if they've been, a manager for quite some time. Management training is really important because you don't want them to just delegate tasks. You want them to be a leader. You want them to become a mentor and a coach almost, to help develop the talent on your team and create that, that camaraderie, that culture, that really makes an impact on your business. So management training is another retention strategy. The third retention strategy is, understanding that, people need opportunities for growth, and they need an opportunity, whether that's like a promotion, whether that's a raise, whether that's, learning a new skill set, whatever that might be, really. And as a manager, those managers in charge are really, in a position to really gather that intel and figure out, okay, well, what is my team need, and, where do they want to go in their career? And these are conversations that need to be happening on a weekly, monthly basis, not just on an annual performance review. So, really understanding where your individual team members want to take their career so that they can grow, and so that they know that there is, more for them to learn there at your organization. Maybe they might be interested in doing another position down the road. So, maybe there's some cross training, that could happen, or, whatever the case might be, having and training your managers and really creating this culture around, learning new things and growing no matter where you're at, is highly important, because people want to move forward. They don't want to move backwards or be stagnant. So that's really important. And, that is the third retention strategy. The fourth retention strategy is recognition and rewards. I think that a lot of employees, and I don't have the stat on hand right now, but a lot of employees feel like they're not getting recognized for their hard work enough. And I don't know if you've ever felt like that before, in your career jobs that you've had in the past or present, but you want to know, and you want encouragement that, hey, what you're doing, it matters. Your role is making a difference to the organization. You are that, and then you're also making a difference to the bottom line, and you're helping this company move forward. And you want to be recognized for your talents and service and the years that you're putting in and the hard work and the time. So I highly recommend, if you don't have an awards or recognition program, I highly recommend that you start to implement one. And you can, do like, I've worked at companies where they have a kick butt award every month, or, you can even create different categories, highest, for the highest salesperson, each month, or, the person who has, shown, the most growth, almost kind of like a most improved player, or, you know, just kind of think of some fun ways, those who are, really, focused on health and wellness, have a health and wellness award, like a health brand ambassador award. There's a lot of different categories that you can do it, but, having a recognition and rewards program is highly important and goes a long way, to retaining the employees that you have currently, on staff. So again, those 4 strategies that you can implement to increase employee retention are surveys, especially pulse surveys on a more frequent basis, like weekly. And there's a way to do that where it's not so annoying, but gives you a lot of great data that you can make some quick changes, and even get some really great trends and information on what's going on with your employees on a more regular basis. And once that you create a culture where it's almost like a high feedback culture, you're creating this culture where you want their feedback, your employees' feedback on a regular basis. Once you start that process and they know that, hey, you listen, you're taking these ideas seriously, and that you care, they're going to get into it, and they're going to start really kind of tearing down those walls and sharing with you what they actually feel is important, or what's currently going on with them, so you can utilize that information and create strategies that will really make a difference in their weekly and daily lives, and also help making sure that your employees are productive and they're engaged and they're loyal, and all of that has a positive impact on the bottom line. So surveys again is that first strategy we talked about. We talked about management training, the third, retention strategies, growth opportunities, and finally a recognition and rewards program. So I hope these tips were really helpful. If you could do me a favor, I would love it if you could please share this, like this, heart this. For some reason, Facebook loves when you put hearts to something. It makes them think like, oh my gosh, this is gold. And so they're going to, promote this and get this, to more people. So I would be honored and very much appreciated if you could help spread this word for me. I think it's really important that a lot of companies see this message. And also, if you're an employee working for a company, feel free to pass this along and see if these, retention strategies could help in your organization as well. If you want more information on the survey platform that I promote heavily with my clients, feel free to private message me. And if you have any questions or have any topics that you want me to cover in these weekly training calls, just let me know, because I'm here to build a relationship with you and give you the tools and strategies that will help make a difference in your company. So I hope this was helpful. Angela, so happy that you were joining. If you're watching on the replay, go ahead and give me a shout out. I will kind of circle back and respond to each and every comment. So I appreciate you. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your week, and I will see you here next week. Bye, guys.